Welcome to the second video on how to find theme. Theme is a universal, abstract idea that expresses something about human nature. It's the central idea or ideas in a story, both in book, film, or TV. It's interwoven ideas that hold a story together. So how to find it? There are 3 easy steps. The first of which is identify the big ideas or central topics in a story. To do this, you need to look for patterns that repeat in the text. You can see this in music or film scores too sometimes, where a certain element continues and repeats all through music. Themes can be expressed in the things that characters say, do, or think, and in the main conflicts of the plot. Sometimes themes are introduced in titles. You might see the connections once you finish the book. Common themes are things that everyone universally can understand, like power or family. These ideas are woven through examples, through our characters. So if we see a character trying to be brave, we can see that they make choices and what they have to do and what they have to think about before they are brave. So, once you've found the essential list, continue to look for them as you read. Set your purpose this way, and make your notes as you list the topics that continue to pop up. Check out this poster. So we got Cosette here as a child, and then right there, and you can see my little arrow center, we have fight, dream, hope, love. Could this be the themes of the entire musical? Now we can make them more specific by creating a theme statement, but yeah, these are the central ideas behind every element within the play. So step 2 to finding a theme. You're going to find what the characters do, say, think about the central ideas. So once you've identified those topics, see what is said about them. You're looking for specifics. What do the characters say or think or do about that topic? You need to keep track of these, and your examples and details relating to your topic will come in several formats. Look for repeated words, ideas, or symbols, as in the symbol as in a literary term, not like a math symbol. Look for images or metaphors, important plot events or dialogue, or changes in characters' actions, beliefs, or values. Jean Valjean is dealing with a specter from his past. The inspector, Javert, has been hunting him his entire life, and has confessed to Jean Valjean, who he doesn't know is Jean Valjean, confesses to him that he thinks he's caught the escaped man. And so he goes through this song as he thinks about what is he going to do. He could turn himself in, and then he's going to have to go back to jail because he's escaped parole, or he can stay quiet and let this man go to jail for him. The first thing we see is Jean Valjean thinking in an aside, which is when they speak to the audience, but it's their internal dialogue. If I speak, I am condemned. If I stay silent, I am damned. So he goes through his entire internal dialogue and decides he has to speak up. And so he says to the Inspector Javert in court, quote, I am Jean Valjean. And so you see, Javert, it's true. This man bears no more guilt than you. Who am I? 24641, which is the number that's tattooed across his chest. So that's what he said, we've heard what he was thinking, and then he has to act. And that action is when he identifies himself to the court and to the police officer and frees an innocent man. So what theme are we kind of seeing here? Well, I'm putting together ideas from the play, and so I see telling the truth, and I'm kind of brainstorming. There seems to be something more to that, but I'm not sure what it is. It has something to do with this willing to do something to hurt themselves to save someone that's innocent, but I'm working through it. So to help go through this, I can take notes, and a way to do this is a double entry journal. It works very similarly to other column type notes. In each column, you're keeping a different type of organization of information. So here I've got a quote element where I'm literally pulling my text quotes and putting them here, and then I'm keeping note of what I am thinking. So this is from a different song from the same play. In the end of the day, she'll be nothing but trouble. Sack the girl today. And so I'm thinking about this, and it's a whole group of women singing it, and you know, women are really catty when they want to be. And they turn on Fantine when she didn't start a fight, and they get her fired. This is great for if it's a long novel, I can go back and look at these elements in my thinking later on as I'm finishing the book. Double entry journals allow you to focus on specific lines from a text to see what they mean and how they relate to your topic. Step 3 in finding theme. State what the author says about life that relates to the central topics. So state your idea without summarizing the whole story. We're not looking for that. A theme statement is a complete sentence, and it could begin with this frame. The point the author makes is that blah. You need to use precise words. Avoid good, important, bad. They're kind of vague, and it makes you hard to get your point across. Also, avoid using the characters' names. We're talking about the whole story and how it's telling readers something about life. So it's all about the ideas, not just one part that focuses on a character. So if I'm looking at the two characters that have fallen here, so let's just look at Jean Valjean. He runs away and lies about who he is for basically his entire life so that he doesn't have to live as a convict. And then he ends up helping people, Fantine and Cosette and the revolutionaries, and uses his money to give people jobs and give Cosette a better life. Okay, so I'm gathering pieces, but that's kind of focused on one character. So if I look back at the elements I've pulled and showed you before, I get a larger picture of what the story is about. So I could say the theme is, the point the author makes is that everyone, no matter their past, can help other people. Because that's true. That's what the story's saying. But what happens if I'm wrong? You may not be wrong. If you ever presented something as a theme statement and other people say, no, that's not it at all. Remember that different people bring their own experiences to a reading. It does influence your interpretation by making you focus on certain things that other people wouldn't focus on. As long as you, and that other person, can provide evidence from the text to support your claim, you are reading well and you haven't misread it. Many stories have multiple themes. So if I change my mind and say, you know what, actually I was wrong, the theme I want to focus on is the point that the author makes is that poverty makes people commit crimes because Jean Valjean was poor and he stole bread and that's how he got arrested. And Fantine lost her job and so she had to become a prostitute. So yeah, poverty makes people commit crimes. Well, people could argue with me and say, no, the author is suggesting that compassion breeds compassion because every time someone's kind to someone, someone else is kind to someone else. It's like a big chain. But then somebody else can come in and say, you're wrong. The author wants us to understand that forgiveness actually changes people and makes them become different types. And another person can come in and be like, nope, the point the author makes is that governments who don't care for their people should be overthrown. All of these themes are correct, and all of them are presented within the book, the play, the musical. That's the love of theme, is that it's such a universal idea we can bring multiple things to the table. But to find it, remember that you need to identify the central ideas by looking for patterns, look at what the characters say, think, or do about those ideas, and create a statement about life from the idea. If you need more help, contact your teacher.